I'm Vo, and welcome to our online nail art tutorials. So today we're going to demonstrate this design right here, and everything that I use is available at www.tinovo.shop. Now let's get ready for the lesson. So for this design right here, we first going to perform an ombre first. So that's the first lesson that you're going to learn. Then I will show you how to do a 3D flower plus all the setting around this, including the technique to isolate chrome. Then we're going to move on to this 3D butterfly right here. So first is ombre. I am going to use the eucalyptus gel colors. This is one of the new gel in our PETAL PINE gel collection, and actually one of my favorite too. So I'm going to apply this right on the tips, and we're going to blend this out. So when you ombre, if this is a medium point where the blend is happening right here, then you want this color to be a little bit overlap in that area. So if it's in the middle of the nail where all the blend is, see like this now, the blend is right in the middle. So you want the green to be up here, so you doesn't run out of colors. And then the nude gonna overlap the green, and it's gonna go down here a little bit. So the green is a little bit up here, the nude's a little bit down here, and the blend gonna be happen right in the middle. So now I'm gonna start blending. And remember that this is not an ombre, this is just a quick blend. We're gonna use our ombre brush. And we first want to clean it first, because even though this bristles are nice and soft, you see the body is a little stiff, and you want to thaw it out so the whole brush can be nice and flexible for you to blend. So you're gonna go ahead and take out some cleanser. I'm using the brush conditioning cleanser right here. This brush conditioning is an oil-based formula to help condition your brush, and the oil is safe with all gel products. I am dipping this brush in. First, you need to take our paper towels. Keep it on your left-hand side. Now, dip this brush in. The body is flush against the bottom or the side wall, and you're gonna wiggle it from side to side to make sure all the hair coming out like this. Let me zoom in so you can see. So make sure all the hair are tall and like this. That. See how it's tall out? That is when you're good to go. So you're gonna wipe off the excess oil. Now, after your brush is completely clean, you are going to start blending right on the edge. Okay, and don't reach up here and pour gel down. Just start right at the edge, and you're just going to blend a small part of it from side to side, from left side to the right side. Make sure it's all nice and even and thin. Then you're gonna go ahead and stop. See, most people, they will keep going, try to make a perfect ombre. You stop. Your brush are now contaminated with gel colors. You're gonna clean that on a paper towel like this. So when it's all nice and clean, you go back. Now, remember, you always start right at the edge. And this is a new edge where it's nice and thin already. So after this blend, it should be almost perfect. However, you're not looking for a perfect ombre, because for a successful ombre, you need to be flawless, like this. And that is when we have to use an ombre gel. Even though this gel is not an ombre gel, I would say that it's blend pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure this. And all my color gel can stick to pigment just fine. So just in case you want to apply pigment, you can definitely apply it right after it cures for 60 seconds. Now, I am going to put this back and start to take out my ombre gel. So I'm using Top Gel Cream Nude. Actually, no, Baby Blush Nude, sorry. So top gel, meaning top coat. All top gel, when you apply and cure, it's not tacky right after it cure. It's no wipe. So when you apply on nude that are top gel, you don't need any top coat on it. Versus when client that want they nail to be natural, they don't want a bunch of top coat on. They just want like 1 or 2 layers. And with this gel, when I apply on my client natural nail, usually only need 1 layer to make it flawlessly beautiful. So I'm gonna use that because all of my top gel nude, especially the nude, all of that ombre very, very well. So I'm gonna take that out and I'm gonna paint just a thin layer onto the nail bed. And remember the green, so you see this middle part is where we blend. So the green will overlap that middle point. So now the nude, we wanna overlap this end of the green. We wanna go past it. Keep this part a moderate layers and go ahead and do the same thing. Blend it out with your ombre brush. And you have to make sure that all gels are gone. Then you go in and you start blending right on the edge. And remember to stop. Be very patient. Don't be in a hurry. Stop and clean your brush. So now it's free of gel. So when you go back, your ombre is more effective that way. See, a clean brush meaning beautiful ombre. It's already look pretty good. But for ombre, I usually do 3 or 4 layers because this coat is a very thin coat. It's not a traditional moderate coat where you put on a polish. It will be 2 of this coat is equal 1 moderate coat when it comes to gel polish because I apply very thin. So if you plan to apply 2 layers of gel polish, you can definitely apply 4 layers of this if you apply it really thin. So usually after my second time, my ombre pretty much already flawless at that point. But if you pay attention to detail, you can go ahead and do it for the 3rd time to get it even more perfect ombre. So we're gonna try the 2nd time just to see how good our ombre is. And while we're waiting, we're gonna go ahead and prep the background for this butterfly, which is still eucalyptus, but the whole nail this time. And all of my gel color are 1 coat. So all you need to do is apply 1 coat and it's all good to go. And it's nice and smooth. See that? Very quickly, cell level. Now go ahead and cure eucalyptus. Meanwhile, this ombre is already cured. So again, we're gonna take our top gel baby blush nude. Apply another layers. Now, the important thing about ombre, you see at this point it's still very easily. There's no trick yet, but you cannot forget this step. First rule is thin. We already covered that. The thinner it is, the easier it is for you to ombre. And the second rule is you have to go past this blendy part right here, because if you have any little streak going on while you blending, when you go past it, it will even out all them streak. So this is the trick to ombre. It doesn't matter what you do in between. The final coat count. So this is 2nd coat. So it doesn't matter what you do on the 1st coat. The 2nd coat make this whole area even. And all you have to do is ombre this part right here, which you can barely see it. So that's a good sign. See how easy to ombre? Let me zoom in so you can see. Now right on this edge right here is where you need to blend. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, it's already done. You can go again just to make sure that it's perfect before you cure. And that's just the trick to ombre. The 3rd coat is the same thing. You have to go past it. just in case you make any flaw. You can see that there barely any flaw there, but if you are not very confident with your ombre, don't worry. As long as you go past that blendy part, it will even everything out for you. So based on the look at that, I think that I will want one more coat because I'm obsessed with detail. But in typical nail salon, with an ombre like that I just clear, you already capable of making money up with just that. But I'm gonna give it another coat just to make sure that it's flawless. I'm gonna take it out. See, with too thin coat right now, it still look very natural. I'm gonna apply again. This is a third coat. And you go past the second coat. Nice and thin. Okay, you see how beautiful this is up here? Where the nude and the green all blend nicely. You just have to get rid of this little edge. That's why it's very important to make it very thin, because the thinner it is, the easier it is. And of course, this gel formula is perfect for ombre because it's not 100% opaque. Again, ombre brush is clean. You go in just right at the edge, lightly dust it through from side to side, and remember to be patient and stop in between. Wipe up your brush so it's gonna be clean. Then you go back 1, 2, 3 from side to side. Remember, only work right at the edge. Now you're done. You go ahead and cure this. So now we can talk about what we're gonna do next. So over here, you see that there is some chrome detail and then some 3D action going on. So we do know that our next step is to make sure that the chrome only stick onto this design and leave the background completely free of chrome powders. And there is 2 steps ahead of you. One is chrome, the other one is 3D. You definitely need to worry about chrome isolation first, because if you were to do a 3D right now, and then afterward you want to worry about chrome isolation, it's gonna be challenging because the surface now is gonna be bumpy with the 3Ds. So it's gonna be more difficult. Versus right now, the surface is nice and flat. It is the best time to go in with chrome isolation. So you can do chrome, then do 3D on top. So that is a smarter order to go with. And you look at this butterfly, same scenario. You see some 3D action going on here, and you see some chrome. So it's smarter for you to worry about chrome isolation first, also on that fingers. So when it comes to chrome isolation, we no longer use buffing because that's just a tragedy for you to have to buff and spend a lot of energy and make your station messy. So we use Teflon matte. So when it comes to Teflon matte, remember that sometimes people only pay attention to the matte. Know that chrome will stick on to all matte top coat also. If you want to avoid chrome sticking on your surface, remember to use Teflon because Teflon created differently than other matte. And I write it on here, non-sticky to chrome powder, so you don't forget. We're gonna apply 2 coats. One on this nail and one on the other nail. This top coat will cure for 60 seconds as well as all my other products. I'm gonna go ahead and cure them. And you're gonna go ahead and cure this. So let's talk about these colors. This color look like a pink and a blue at the same time. It's very demure. What I'm using is a see-through chrome. This is called a mermaid chrome. And mermaid chrome built to show up differently depending on what background it's on. So on black, it will look different. On white, it will look different. On green, it will also look different. For example, this butterfly, you see this part, it's the same at this part right here, but this is on top of nude, so it look pinkish. This one on top of green, so it look more green and pink at the same time. So it's different depending on the background colors. So that is gonna be the chrome colors, and we're gonna talk about the material. Let's worry about this first. So with this, I use what I call an clear embossed jelly. Now, clear embossed jelly is cell level. So if your line are nice and thin and you have a lot of lines close to each other, like the seashell embossed patterns, then you don't want to use something like this. You want to use something like this, where it's non-cell level, because non-cell level means it doesn't move. So the line not gonna be blended into each other. But these lines are different. First of all, it's bigger, so I need something that is cell level to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Also, it's further apart, so I don't worry about it touching each other and create a big mess. So in that case, I'm more comfortable with clear embossed jelly. Of course, you can also use this gel for that task. It's gonna take a little bit longer for it to be nice and smooth since it's non-cell level. Now, clear embossed jelly, I tap it on the table just a few times. And when I pour it out, I want to make sure that I give it a first squeeze on the palette, so all the bubble is gone, just in case you have any bubble in there, any air. But usually if you leave it upside down like this, then the gel will be right here, while the air will be right here. So when you turn it upside down, all the air is right here. So you want to make sure you squeeze a little bit out, just for precaution. Now, you need a liner brush for this. I'm using the 10mm liners, and what I do first is I squeeze a little bit of gel right about here. Then I use a liner brush to drag out the nice pointy tail right here. It's one of my favorite moves when it comes to embossed line. So again, before you draw, you want to make sure that all the hair will thaw out, so your gel can move in and out of the brush much easier. As you can see here, it's a little stiff. Okay, it's stiff because of the conditioning cleanser is in it to keep it nicely in shape. But for you to paint more effectively, you should thaw it out with brush conditioning cleanser first beforehand. Roll from side to side like that until all the hair bristles will fall apart like this. See, it spread apart like that. That's a good sign. That means your gel gonna be in it very smoothly, and when you draw, you're not gonna run out of gel. It's gonna be very effective for you. So clean your brush. Now, take out clear embossed jelly. Press one right here. See, I see a little bubble. Okay, wait. Okay, now it's gone. Now, squeeze this out. And you're gonna go ahead and use your liner brush to drag it up. Just like that. Okay. If you want to cure, you can go ahead and flash cure just a little bit. If your lines are very thick, then it's healthy to cure first, about 5 seconds, so your line don't collapse, because it's cell level, so it could collapse. Collapse meaning if it's too high, it's gonna collapse and it's gonna spread out a little bit. And when it comes to emboss line, I want it to be nice and thick, so it can be nice and bold. Okay, again, take your liner brush and drag it down here. When you're happy, you cure. After that, you will chrome those lines. We're done with clear embossed jelly for now. Gonna put that back. Now, after I take it out, I am going to use this to clump it. I will have a paper towel right on my table, so everything will be nice and neat. It's not gonna be messy. Dust not gonna fly everywhere on my station. I am using the eyeshadow applicators. I'm gonna take this out. Now, this is done curing. So, I am dipping a little bit of mermaid chrome, and this color is rose. One of my favorite shade, actually. I'm gonna rub it on. Stick on extremely well. Now I'm gonna dust it out. I'm gonna take out a fluffy brush. I'm gonna give it a nice dust. See how it spared the background? Now I wanna tell you something about chrome particle. Sometimes your chrome particle are very small, smaller than the typical chrome particle for you to have a nice shiny surface. But you see sometimes the particle is so small that it leaves a little bit of dust right onto your surface, and when you go through with the fluffy, it wouldn't come up. And it wouldn't come up not because it sticks on the surface, but because the particle is trapped there. Because it's so small, you're gonna take a different kind of brush like this. See, it's a clean side of the shadow applicators that you're gonna use it to wipe through that area, and it will remove all excess dust. That is also an extra information that you should know just in case you bump into that scenario. Now, another thing of my, one of my favorite thing to do is I like to take this. It's called a silicone tool. Now, usually I don't use it to apply chrome, but after I apply chrome, I use it just to go back, and I go in small circular motion. And what I'm doing is I am further rubbing this in just to make sure that the surface is completely mirroring. I find this technique very effective. Now, because the surface of this silicone tool is stiffer, it's hard to apply chrome on, but because it's stiffer, when you use it to rub it, it's more effective than the shadow applicators because of its surfacing. See, right now it's much more shinier than it is before. Go ahead and dust. And again, use the clean side of the shadow applicator to completely remove any excess dust before you top coat. Because if you leave any excess dust on the surface, what happens is when you put on top coat, all the excess dust is gonna flow up to the surface, and it's gonna make it glittery, and you don't want that. So that is the reason why I'm very adamant about removing extra dust. Now, I'm gonna worry about top coating this. So the top coat that I am going to use called Shine It. I'm gonna take it out and put a little bit on my palette. Okay. We'll shine it on the sides. Now, I am going to retire my liner brush for this step, because liner brush is for line, meaning it gets used to thicker gels consistency than the top coat. Top coat are very liquidy, so I'm going to use the curling brush because curling brush have a suitable body that built to soak in all that top coat. I'm going to spread it out and let that top coat soak in to the brush. Stroke it out to make it slightly slimmer, but it will hold more top coat than the typical liner brush. Now I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to fill in this line going right on top in the middle first. Stroke out your brush to make it slimmer, and then go on the side. The reason is I want to make sure there's not a lot of gel on my brush when I do this, because if I have a lot of gel, what happens is it's gonna spill out and flood my design. Whatever background around it, it's gonna be shiny-ish, which is unattractive. So now you're gonna clear. I'm gonna repeat this step one more time. Have a decent amount of top coat go on to top first, because you have a lot of top coat. That's why it's going right on the middle, so it doesn't spill. Now you're gonna take your brush and go back and stroke it out a few times to make your brush nice and slim. Not a lot of gel on your brush. Then you go on the side at this time. This time it have minimum amount of gel, and if you're out of gel, you dip a little bit of extra gel on the top, and then you keep on going. Another trick to make your process faster. Okay, now you can go ahead and clear. Okay, now after this, I am going to use my claydoh. This is light pink claydoh. I'm gonna use this, but this pink claydoh is non-stick, meaning it's gonna help you work much better when it doesn't stick on your fingers. So I will use sticky on the surface to make sure that it sticks easier, so I don't have to try to be tricky with it. I'm gonna take sticky gels and apply a little bit right here. And a little bit right here. This is where my flower is going to be. I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds. Sticky is like a, it's make the surface sticky like duct tape, basically. So you can work with any thin material, any flat material on the surface, and it will hold it like a mouse trap. After that, I am ready for my flowers. I'm gonna take out 6 different beads, 3 for each flower. 1, 2. You can put it on a piece of paper, or in this case, I just put it onto the table because it doesn't really stick to anything. So you don't have to have special place to put it on. You can even put it into the lid like this, however you like it. We're gonna do 2 more, 1 and 2. Then we're gonna take this out and start to roll the bead on just one side, and that will help you make a teardrop. Okay, and you want 3 of them onto here. Just roll on one side. Okay, the other one. 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to scoop it. So when we scoop this, the tool that I'm gonna use will call a engraver and mixer. This is an engraver point. It don't have a bar right at the end. It's completely pointy and a little bit blunt at the end, which make it amazing for sculpting, especially when it comes to flower like this. You make one indentation right in the middle, and then you slowly keep that focal point right at the tip, where you turn in the body a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. onto this flower, this petal. Same thing. Make a slight indentation. Go a little bit to the right. A little bit to the left. Same on here into this petal. An indentation right in the middle. Tilt a little bit to the left. A little bit to the right. See how easy it is. Same here. Make a small indentation right in the middle. Tilt a little bit to the left and tilt a little bit to the right. And it's very important for you to keep the focal point right at the tips. And don't move that, you just move the body. But the point stay the same, like this. See, the point stay here where the body move. The point stay in one place. Okay. So now when you're done with this, of course, you can readjust the size of your flower based on the size of the bead. If you don't want it to sticking out too much, then have smaller petal. And if you want to be more bold and wild, then you can use bigger petal, depending on the size of the bead. After that, you can go ahead and cure. I'm gonna go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds. And our claydoh, after you cure, you can rub on pigments. So I'm gonna take out one of my pink pigments. This is fuchsia pink. And this is in my neon super pigment collection. A paper towel right here. And a pigment brush. Make sure you stroke over the surface. If you have any excess pigment, like here I have a little black, a little blue pigment, completely cleanse it by rubbing on it on a dry paper towel, and you pick up this pink pigment, you apply right onto the surface and rock from side to side to smudge in the color into the brush bristle. After you done that, you want to knock up all excess dust in a container like this, or on the edge of your table. You just have to make sure all loose dust is gone. After all loose dust is gone, the only thing left is a color in the brush. Now you can take this out and you can dust it through. Start from the center of this flower and dust it lightly out. How much you put on is up to you. Same here, dust it slightly out. After your mission is complete, you want to go ahead and take out a fluffy and dust it through again, just to make sure all loose dust is gone. You need to top coat this to protect the pigment. And for this flower, I choose matte. So I'm putting my pigment back. And I would like to clean the surface of my table first. There. Now, I am gonna take out matted. And I'm gonna apply some matted right onto the palette surface. Then use a coloring brush, but make sure that you completely cleanse it first. Because what if it has shine top coat on there, then it's not going to be pretty for your design unless you want it to be shine. Now I'm gonna dip my coloring brush into my matted top coat and dust it through. Follow the groove of the petal so the top coat doesn't flood your design. You still want some of the texture for the beauty of the petal. See, I wouldn't go this way because the groove is this way, so I will follow the groove. Just like that. You only need to flash cure a few seconds because again, I don't want it to be cell level and flooded the design. So I stroke in a nice thin layer and I cure it very fast. And I move on to the petal from the bottom here. Same thing, stroke it out, flash cure. And I know that flash cure in between like this is slightly inconvenient. You don't have to do it like this. You can just top coat all the petal and flash cure all at once, or cure, full cure all at once. But I do this because it's just gonna make my petal much more prettier. So the choice is yours, but at least now you know your option. Go ahead and cure this. 60-second cure. Now, next step, before I end this nails look, I am going to use pixie gel to dress it up just a little more, make it a little more exciting. The reason why I use pixie gel onto this nail set, so I want to show you what pixie gel does, because everything at this point is already top coat. See, this flower is top coat. This chrome is top coat. The background is top coat. Everything is top coat. And the reason why I use pixie gel now, because my pixie gel doesn't need any top coat. Pixie gel is a super reflective gel that are so pretty with thick glitters, but the formula are very smooth and nice for line work. It is not a gel polish, but in fact, it's a gel paint. And one of the things I love about it is a no top coat, because back in the day, if I were to paint something like this onto a matte background like that, then I only have two choices. I can either top coat everything with shine, which is doesn't make it special, or I have to trace top coat onto the glitter line, which would take forever and it's not effective for me to make money in salon. So that's why I make this gel, because you only need to draw whatever you want onto the matte surface that you like. After you cure this for 60 seconds, you are done with that design. No top coat needed for this. So we're gonna go ahead and cure this design and we're done. And the rest of these are just bubble cabochon. And bubble cabochon is this color right here. On my bubble jam collection is full of iridescent and even a couple of cabochon. It doesn't have a foil backing, which make it even more exciting because it gotta show what background is on. And then I put on some stud for you. Since it's bubble and pearl, I figure I put on some seashell stud and some oval frame stud, just in case you wanna go for a mermaid look or an ocean or a beachy look. Now, I'm gonna put my lime pixie gel on the sides and we will talk about the next nails look. So this is out. I am gonna go in for this 3D butterfly. So now we're not talking about little flower or little sculpture that have detail or texture on it. We're talking about a big blob of 3Ds, and it's gonna be smooth for me to paint on and design on it. So for that, I like to use clear claydoh. Clear claydoh is softer than my other claydohs, and it's completely clear. And it can be very smooth when you apply. So that is what I'm gonna use. And clear claydoh are very well adhere. So sometimes you can even skip the sticky layers with clear claydohs. I'm gonna take our bead right here. And I'm gonna roll it in. And on just one side. I'm gonna roll it on one side. It's actually a little big, isn't it? Let me take out just a little bit extra. Make it not too big. Okay, roll it in and then roll on just one side to make like a teardrop pattern, and then press it on. You can even use your finger for this. You just press it out. Very easy to work with. And there you have it. Now you're gonna use this silicone tool to go around the edge just to make sure that it's proper before you cure. Now you can cure in between, or you can go ahead and do the other wings and then cure. It's up to you. Roll it on just one side, put it in, go ahead and press it out. Adjust this a little bit because there's still some chrome right here, so I want to leave room for the chrome. There, press it in just a little bit. Now, you can go ahead and cure now. Close our claydohs, put it away. After that, we are going to paint this. So, I want to use white and then ombre with pink. The gel that I'm going to use will be pigment base. I'm putting pigment base onto the palette. Maybe a little more. I almost used this entire bottle. Pigment base is very popular. I use it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna pour that out. So that's pigment base. And what pigment base is a very high pigmented full cover white gel polish. But this white gel polish is not an ordinary white gel polish. It's a white gel polish that allows pigment to stick on, not just stick on like a typical white gel polish, but stick on evenly and smoothly. So this is what I use for pigments. I also use it when I have to design or building a French tip. I also use the same things. Now let's talk about what brush am I gonna use. So instead of a liner brush, I like to use something thicker like the emboss brush. When I have a thicker body, I go ahead and lay its body flush against the bottom or the side wall, and I twist it from side to side or rock it from side to side. Now I am going to wipe up excess oil and dip into this pigment base. Paint on these two wings right here. You can go heavy right in the middle like this. See how fast emboss brush help you color? Unlike a liner brush where it takes forever. You can go heavy inside first, because it's not, you don't have to be careful. You have to be careful when you get right near the edge here. But inside, you don't have to be careful. You can just go really fast. Now, you're gonna take whatever gel's left on your brush and you're gonna focus on the edge. At this point, you already have a lot of gel in here. You can drag it out. This is like your paint palette right here. So this technique, you don't have to go back and pick up gel multiple times. It's gonna waste a lot of time for you. So this strategy, strategy right here, gonna help you when it comes to painting and line work. It will help your speed. You're gonna go all around. Right at the edge here. Same thing here, right at the edge. See, I haven't taken my brush and come back and pick up more gel here. I just utilize what I already have on the surface. After it's done, pop it in and clear. And remember, Teflon mat is already on the surface. And Teflon mat is used to block chrome, but you can use it to block pigment too. It's not gonna be 100%, but it's going to do a very good job at blocking pigment. And I'm putting the gel container away, or gel palette away, and take out my pigment paper towels that I used before. Just like that. Rock it in side to side just to make sure that pigment powder are smudged into your brush. Now you're gonna go ahead and use something like this to knock off excess dust. Just like that. Then you go ahead and blend it in with pink super pigment. I decide that I want to focus right on the edge here. I'm going round and round. I'm not going to blend it yet. I'm just going to apply color only. Same thing in the bottom wing here. Then, before I blend, I am going to go ahead and take this and run through the paper towel a few times. And the reason is, it's going to make the amount of pigment on my brush less. So it's going to be very light. That way I can go in and can blend, and my blend will be more effective. Going side to side. Don't try to make a perfect ombre just yet. Just going all around, make sure you cover all the perimeter. After that, you can stop, do the same thing I just did. Remove extra pigments, go back, keep blending. Same thing on the bottom here. Okay, now I'm gonna take that out, and as you can see, it stained a little bit on the bottom, and it doesn't stick onto the bottom, but it can stand it. Let's go ahead and use our fluffy to dust it to see. Most of it is gone. There's still some slight stain left that can very easily be removed with a paper towel or with some alcohol. But for now, what we're doing is we are going to draw in these details for the butterfly. So we're gonna use a liner gel for that. Let's put our pigment paper towel away and take out our palette again. And this time I am using black one stroke liners. I'm opening this and scoop just a little bit of liner out. Put it onto the palette. Close this. Clean your tool. The brush that I am going to use will be the 10mm liners. I make sure that it's wiped off first, because I use pixie gels. So I make sure all the glitter coming up, and then I soak into this concoction and remove any extra gels. After that, I am placing the brush right onto this one stroke liner and rock from side to side. And when you rock, all your bristles gonna spread out and the gel gonna get in it. So now it's packed with gel. You see how packed it is? It's saturated with gel. This is when you can stroke it out to make your brush slimmer. But now it's have more of a volume. All the gel will focus in the body of the brush. So now when you paint, your design gonna be much smoother. Let's go ahead and paint a teardrop pattern right onto the butterfly. And sometimes when I do this, people always question, why is it so smooth? Why is my gel so amazing? And yes, the gel is very smooth, but it's not just the gel. You have to learn how to load gel, like what I just showed you of rocking from side to side. That helped a lot because it's just going to make your brush more saturated with gel. So when you paint like this, your process will be much smoother. You're gonna absolutely love doing that once you get a hang of it. I am going around the butterfly at this point. And now I am taking this and drawing from here to here and go all around this. Same thing up here. Then I'm gonna repeat down here. I'm gonna paint a teardrop. And then I repeat the pattern, but on the outside of the wings. A bigger teardrop. And again, connect these all around with nice thin fun lines. Then I am going to smooth these lines out. Now, what I don't want you to look is at the black lines. I want you to look at the pink background and make sure that all the corners are completely round. So don't look at the black line, but look at the pink background. See that? If you see any corner on the pink, see the shape of the pink, you can go ahead and round out that corner. And make sure that it's nice and smooth. We're gonna do that with all these lines. Smooth out all the corners. Okay, now I am gonna go down here and doing the exact same things. Afterward, you can go ahead and cure this. Now let's talk about the chrome. So, over here, you can see there's chrome all around the wings. There is chrome on the wing. Now the background is already have Teflon matte. Where the green is already have Teflon matte. So chrome not gonna stick onto the background, but on the butterfly, we just have pigment base, chrome stick on that. We have liner gel, chrome stick on that. So our next mission, if you have to make sure that not just the background, but also the butterfly are chrome free. So you're gonna take this Teflon matte that I used to isolate chrome, and I'm gonna apply on the butterfly also. So taking this out, stroke this on the butterfly. And stroke this on here, on the bottom of the wings. afterward, go ahead and cure this. 60-second cure for Teflon mat. Put this away. Now, let's visit our old friend, clear embossed jelly. We're gonna use that tactic to the one that I do here onto this nail. I'm gonna apply on the wings and all around the wings. And with that, I will very much like the help of my liner brush, the 10mm liners. Make sure that it's clean though. See, this cleanser is amazing because it's removed gel just as fast as acetone will remove gel, but it's not a solvent, so it doesn't ruin your brush, versus the oil that are in it, it completely safe with gel and it will condition your brush. Go ahead and wipe this off. And we are going to go around the wing first. So with that, you can pull it a little bit out here, like this. Then you can go ahead and go around the wing. Cure this. Or you can take this, press it out a little bit on just a palette. Then use a liner brush. Whip up a big bead right under the liner brush. Release it and drag it through. You can do that too, whichever way you are comfortable of doing. Everybody have their own little way of applying gels, so it's important to know all of them so you can pick and choose which one you like to do and which one you don't like to do. Okay, and then you can also, if you don't have enough gel like this, if I want a little more gel, I can pull some out. And what's going on right now is this bead that I'm pulling in, the wet layer underneath, it's gonna help guide it out. It's gonna help me blend with the layer right underneath because the layer underneath are still wet. So I usually call that layer the slip layer because it's slippery and it helps guide the gel out. After you satisfy, you can go ahead and cure this. Also, in the middle of the wing, you can go either way. You can either push a little bit right here, squeeze it out. Don't try to shape it. You can shape it if you want, but I like to go ahead and disconnect it first and then use a liner brush to shape it. So you pull it out just like that and cure. Or you can pull it out on a palette. Whip out a big amount of bead and twirl it right at the head because that's where the gel is bulkiest. Pull this out. And you're done. Go ahead and cure this. Now, after it cure for 60 seconds, you are ready to rub on chrome. Go ahead and wipe up extra gels on a paper towel, then cleanse. I like to do that a lot because I don't want to contaminate my cleanser, so I like to wipe up gel first. You cleanser and then wipe up excess oil and keep everything nice and clean for a while. We are officially done with clear embossed jelly. We're gonna put it back. And we're gonna take our favorite chrome, mermaid chrome, and the shade color is rose. We're gonna take that and rub all over the butterfly. You should be safe now. We use Teflon mat multiple times on the background, on the wing. You should be nice and safe. See, if I use silicone tool to apply, usually harder because the surface of the silicone tool is not like spongy, it's hard. Okay, it's soft but it's hard at the same time, so it's more difficult than to use an eyeshadow. I like to use an eyeshadow because it's spongy, so it helped me get in all these little nook right here, little nook and cranny, and get into all of them, or the small narrow area. See, it helped me cover all of them, just like that. Rub it in. But now, after I rub it in, then at that point, I like to use silicone tool to go back and rub, because the surface of the silicone tool, it makes it so shiny when you rub on it. Go ahead and rub it, just like this, on the edge. Make it shinier than before. How long you do this is completely up to you. It's not even necessary. It's just an extra step, extra mile that I take to ensure that my chrome look fabulous. Go ahead and dust extra dust off. Then you're gonna take a clean shadow applicator and you're gonna go back, and you go back to remove excess dust. Like right here, you see this dust right here. Obviously, it's not here because it's sticking onto the Teflon mat. Because if it truly stick onto the Teflon mat, it's all over the place now. But you just see a little speck left. It's because the particle is so small that the fluffy, because it's so big, it couldn't remove it. So you just take out the clean shadow applicator like this, and you run over it, and it will be gone, just like that. I know this scenario, if you bump into this scenario, for a person that are not experienced, you most likely will freak out. So that's why I want to show you that, so you don't freak out. You know exactly what to do when you bump into a situation like that. Now, after dust is gone, go ahead and dust it one more time. Then, I'm going to talk about top coat. So I'm going to top coat the wings, and I'm going to leave the background matte. Let's take our new palette. I usually have 2 or 3 palettes just in case. Just in case I don't want to like clean in between. But after I'm done with my client. So I'm going to take Shine It and apply a small amount of Shine It out on the palette. There. Now remember, I'm not going to use a liner brush, because if I use a liner brush, number one is it doesn't take a lot of gels, because the brush is nice and thin, so you couldn't fill in that much. Okay. If you take a lot of gel, again, the brush is not going to hold a lot of top coat on, so it's going to try to drip on you. It's going to be messy. Because this brush, liner brush, is it built for gel that are thicker than a typical gel polish and top coat. So remember, using coloring brush. Coloring brush are built thicker, so you can soak all the top coat in. Even if you have a lot of top coat, it's hold it well. So now you go back in here, and you can take the top coat, going on the wing, around this part, spread it out. Remember, when you're in the middle, you don't worry. You go freely. Don't be afraid. But leave the edge alone, because you're going to go back and you're going to be more careful this time going back, and be very careful tracing top coat onto the edge to make sure that it's completely protecting your chrome so your chrome doesn't chips. And after that, you're ready to cure. You can flash cure this with a seashell light. The seashell light are very special because it doesn't operate out of battery. So when the light, if you use a battery operated flash cure, and when the light go weak, you won't know because it's still blue like this when it's weak. And instead of curing it for 2 or 3 seconds, you're gonna end up have to cure 10 seconds if you notice that it doesn't cure well. Sometimes you don't even notice it doesn't cure well until it's too late. That is the story of battery operated flash cure. Then there is flash cure light that need to be hooked on with a cord. Now we're just talking about inconvenience to drag that cord around. But this is the best of both worlds. It's hooked onto the cord to charge. You can recharge at night, every night. But now you can take out the cord and it will work like a cordless flash cure. The way that it's built, if you put gel here and put gel right here, if you are ready to cure this, you can push the edge of the flash cure right here and segregate this part while you cure the other part. So when it comes to flashlight, this is my absolute favorite. Now, since I already flash cured this, I'm gonna go ahead and top coat the bottom too. Remember the middle, you go fast. You go fast because it's safe. That is some rule that you need to know about painting. When to go fast and when to slow down. Like when you be right at the edge here, this is when you need to slow down to make sure that you can finesse all around it without overlapping or flooding the design. Go all around. Then now you're ready to cure. Go ahead and put into the machine. And of course, you see here, we got some more fun detail using pixie gels. And I always do pixie gel last, right on top of the top coat. Because pixie gel don't need top coat, so why should I do it and try to top coat it? What if I paint pixie gel too thick? And of course, you can paint pixie gel a little bit thicker and it will cure solidly. But if you paint too thick and you top coat it, then your surface is now not going to be flat. It's going to be slightly bumpy. So for pixie gel, since we have the privilege of not needing to top coat it, I utilize that to the max. So I'm going to take out pixie gel and use my 10mm liner brush again to dress it up around the butterfly. Isn't that beautiful and solid when it comes to glitters? Back in the day when I first started doing nails, I would use glitter gel polish or even glitter gel paint, and it's never solid. The glitter always scatter apart because there's not enough glitter on. So the beauty of this gel is the glitter is completely solid, but the gel is nice and smooth to design with. So it is the best of both worlds, and pixie gel is one of my hardest selling items. Because when it comes to design, it's quick and fast. We're gonna go ahead and cure this one. After that, we are done. I'm gonna close this. So the main focal point to the lesson today, besides the 3D element like light pink claydoh or clear claydoh, we also highlight our Teflon mat for its chrome-proofing ability, among other technique. And wait for the other one to cure. And we are done. And I think on this design, the pink that I use is not as vibrant as this. I think I use a lighter pink, but it still go pretty viral. So can you imagine if it in a hot pink like this, people are gonna love it. This is everything that you need, tip and trick plus product for this lesson. I hope you enjoy this lesson today. And don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube at Vo.Tino. And until next time, bye-bye.